I gotta go work on the car, okay? You stay here, hold down the fort, okay? You got important things to do. You're just the best looking dog on YouTube. Yep. Not today, Rona. What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are feeling well, living well, enjoying this extended break, not going too crazy indoors, and I hope everyone's healthy in your family. With all that aside, it's good to see you guys. So today, got something really special. Got something I'm really stoked on. Got some stuff showing up for the S2, and it's stuff that I've been waiting on and that I'm really excited on. But first, I gotta show this to you because I haven't yet. I got the AP2 wheels mounted on the car and they look perfect. This is exactly the look I was going for. I love these wheels on this car. They're the AP2 V1 wheels, version 1. 215/45 in the front, and then we have 245/40 in the rear. Is that right? Yeah, 245/40. Is that the same? 245. Yeah, samesies. Twinning. Good job. But I have stuff on order for this that is showing up. Well, part of it's showing up today, and then the big part of it's showing up tomorrow. But I have too much ADD, and I want to get working on this right now. So what I'm going to do is get the car jacked up. I didn't even tell you what I'm working on. I'm working on brakes today. I'm changing out the brakes, and there's a lot of. Let me explain. But first, I got to move. Yeah, I'm gonna move the BMW out of the way. Oh gosh, I love this car. And there were some complaints last time about not being able to view the fog light deletes. I completely understand. I have a plan. Probably after I get the S2000 stuff completed, well, like the brakes that I'm doing today and tomorrow, I think the next video is going to be taking this car out and doing an exhaust video, because I don't think I've done one of those for you guys yet. So an exhaust video and then just a good walk around the car, because you know, there's a lot of you guys are new and haven't seen this car in depth, so I want to give you guys a solid walk around. But man, look at the camber on this. I love this stance, man. Gosh, that looks so good. All right, so for brakes on the S2000, it was always one of the goals, well, not goals, but one of the things I wanted was spoon calipers. And here's my justification for that. The OEM brakes on the S2000 are amazing. They're, especially compared to the E36. The S2000 is just a lighter car. I'm telling you, the braking difference between the two is night and day. The S2000 feels like it has go-kart brakes compared to the E36. It really does. So I don't really need that much more stopping power, because I don't plan on letting the car live on the track. But with that being said, I would like a 4-pot caliper, and I love spoon parts. I've always been a JDM guy. I've grown up with EKs and EGs, and always been into the Honda world. So I always have wanted those. Now, a lot of guys will say if you're gonna go that, you might as well get a big brake kit. But I found a set of spoon calipers for a smoking deal. Very, very good deal. So not the $1,500 that you generally see these things selling for. Now, with that being said, they say they give you a little better feel and better cooling, which is what I was going for, better cooling. Because one of the other things that happens when you do track the S2000 is it goes through pads and rotors really quickly. But unless you upgrade to like a 2-piece floating rotor, that's about $700 to $900 per side. Yeah, I think it's per side. They're really expensive. A lot of guys just use Centric Premium blanks, which are just cheap. I mean, they look just like the factory rotors. They might be factory rotors, and a lot of guys just get them from AutoZone or Pet Boys or something like that. because they warranty them. So as long as, you know, once you take them to the track, if they do crack, a lot of guys will take them back to AutoZone and get a new set under warranty. I probably won't do that. I ordered StopTech slotted rotors, and they're not as cheap as the centric blanks, but they're not nearly as expensive as the two-piece floating rotors. They were, I want to say it was like 75 bucks a piece, and I got them for all four sides because the rotors, everything will be replaced up front, and then the rotors and pads will be replaced in the rear. I'm not doing any rear big brake kit or anything like that. I'll just clean up that caliper and call it a day. So the setup I'm going to be running is spoon calipers up front, StopTech slotted rotors, and the calipers that I bought, the spoon calipers came with the WinMax pads, which I've read the reviews on them. They're good autocross, they're a good pad. I'll definitely replace them when they get low, but they have like 85% life left in them, so there's no need to waste money on new pads yet. And then I have, I believe, Hawk HPs are what I ordered for the rear. And then I got Motul RBF 600 or 660 brake fluid. That will all be here today. It's the same brake fluid I'm running in the E36, and Motul's great stuff. It's high temp brake fluid made for the track. If you're gonna run that and you run it on the track often, I know guys that replace it after every track weekend. With someone like me who only does a handful of track days a year, I'll probably replace it once a year, flush it once a year. So it's not that bad of a hit to the wallet because it is a little bit more expensive. But today, since I'm getting the rotors and pads and brake fluid, and spacers, because these wheels will require about from what I've read, I'm not sure yet, I haven't done it, but they will require, I believe, a 20mm spacer to clear the spoon calipers. But with that being said, you can see these are very tucked in, and I want the flush look on the car, so I ordered 20mm spacers all around, and I believe that should give me a good flush look. At least I'm hoping it should, because I want it to be flush, but I don't want it to rub that much. I'm not going for anything super aggressive with this. I'm going to install, and the spacers that I got have the studs included, which is a big deal, because if you don't, then you have to take out the factory studs and mount extended studs. Not a huge deal, but it is a pain in the butt on this car because the backing plate hits where the where the studs will come out, and I believe the knuckle or the hub will actually hit it too. So you kind of have to do some ninja grinding to the studs to get them in there, and I just don't really like that. So I have spacers showing up with integrated studs, and all the brake parts showing up besides the calipers, which will show up tomorrow. So I figure I'm going to get a head start on this brake install and take off the rotors, get the new rotors installed, and probably just get ready to, actually I can do the rear. I can do the rear entirely. I'm just gonna have to wait on the front. So next move is get the car jacked up on jack stands and take the wheels off. This is all stuff you really don't need to see, but I'll do a time lapse anyway. Let's go. Word of advice, if you're gonna get one of these cars and you're gonna lower it, get a low pro jack. It'll make your life a million times easier. All right, boys, so wheels off. Now I'm just going to focus on taking the front calipers off, hanging them. I'll take the front rotors off, then I'll just do the same to the rear. It doesn't look too difficult. It looks like it's like any other brake job. 2 mounting points for the caliper in the front. I'm going to hang it using zip ties, probably from the upper control arm. Then take off the rotor and wait for the new stuff to arrive. And one thing I found out is this car does already have stainless lines, which is good. Feels a little tight, but yeah, it already has stainless lines, so that's good. I won't have to replace those because stainless lines are what you want. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just gonna get to it. Boys, I gotta tell you, obviously this isn't sponsored because I don't get sponsors yet. But man, if you guys haven't or are shopping for parts, I think they do Porsche, BMW, Honda. I think they do a bunch of stuff. But I did pay for 2-day shipping from a company called Emnotech. E-M-N-O-T-E-K, I believe. I'll link them in the description. I paid for 2-day shipping. I ordered this stuff yesterday and they got it here today. I ordered it on Monday, it got here on Tuesday. I wasn't expecting it here till Wednesday at the earliest. I don't know how they did it, but they killed it with this. So yes, I paid a little extra for faster shipping, but they literally got it here overnight. I did not order overnight, and these are heavy boxes. And I didn't pay like 150 bucks or anything crazy like that. I think it was like 60 or 70 bucks for shipping. But I have ADD and I wanted these parts soon. I was not expecting them today. Well, I was because they gave me shipping, but I'm just still impressed by this. Their customer service was awesome. Shipping was awesome. Everything about the selection they had was awesome. Thumbs up for them, man. So now I can finish the rears. I can get the front started, but I still have to wait for the spoon calipers anyway, so can't do anything about that, but I'm going to open the boxes, get everything out, and get the rears going. We got the hawk pads, the spacers, Motul 600, the 48, the StopTech slotted. You'll see 48L, so that the 48 is for front and that's left. Boom, big old slotted rotor, that's perfect. And the 50s right here, 50S slotted, I'm guessing left, slotted right. These are for the rears. So I'm gonna get those mounted up right now and probably try and push the brake piston back in. And I have a tool for that. Sometimes you can do it by hand if you remove the cap to the master cylinder, the brake master cylinder up front. You can push that piston in by hand. But altogether, it shouldn't be that hard, just reverse of what I just did. So I'm gonna get these new rotors on and yeah, and go from there. Oh man, boys, I don't even, well, I know where we left off. I rolled the fenders yesterday and I have just been waiting and waiting and waiting for these spoon calipers to show up, and they finally did. It took a while, just to mess up with the USPS, but anyway, we got them, they're here, so I'm going to unbox them so I can slap them on the front and wrap up this brake job because I cannot wait to, I kind of did a little, I looked at the rear tires and I think the stance is gonna be perfect. I hope. So stick around. I'm gonna unbox these. I wanna get a look at these. All right, here we go. First look at the new spoonies. Oh, also, ooh, baby. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I get these cleaned up a little bit. I mean, there's a little wear on them, but that's all right. Especially with the plans I have for this car. So I am not too concerned about these being a little worn. But these are, I gotta look at these. Dude, I am so stoked on these. Going on there. So here's the deal. I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but I actually found these online for about $1,000. New, you can get these for the S2000 for about $13.50 plus shipping. Everything from, I think the cheapest I found them out the door with tax, everything was about $14.50, almost $1,500. These also came with WinMax pads. So if you tack on new calipers plus new pads, I would have been sitting around $1,700-ish. So these I got shipped with new pads for about $1,000 even. Then I replaced the rotors all around and new pads in the rear. So all in with this setup, I'm right around, let's see, rotors times 4, pads in the rear. I think that was, I'm probably just above $1,500 all in on this setup for front and rear, and the car already had stainless lines. So, since I don't know what I'm going to be doing with this car, I'm not going to be tracking it too often. I'm probably going to supercharge it. I wanted to save some money where I could. These calipers, they're known to give you better brake feel and help with cooling. They're not necessarily going to be a gigantic increase over factory braking, but the pedal feel will be better and the cooling will be better. If you want to go up a notch, you could do a big brake kit up front for around like $2,200 to $2,500, but I still needed stuff for the rear as well. And you know, again, I just really didn't want to spend, if I did a big brake kit up front and rear, I would probably be close to like $3,500 for this. And you know, I didn't even spend that much on my M3, which goes to the track probably a lot more than this will be. So I think this is going to be perfect for what I want to do. Now I just have to get them mounted up. I believe you actually have to cut part of the heat or the dust shield. So I read the instructions from Spoon, and it looks like what you have to do is cut the dust shield right there and right there on both of them to allow the new calipers to mount flush. So I'm going to do a little research into that and probably bust out the Dremel and go from there. All right, boys, there we go. One down. Everything went smooth. The only thing that I had a problem with was the bolts that I got without seeing the kit, and I didn't get the actual bolts that go from the adapter into the stock location. I just know that the OEM bolts are way too short, so you don't want to use the OEM bolts. I got bolts that I believe were 130 millimeters long, I believe. So I got these. They were literally like two washers too long. So I just put 2 washers in there, everything mounted up perfect, and we're good to go. And the stainless steel brake lines that I got, or that were on the car, they work fine, so that's good to go. Now I just have to go over to the other side. By the way, these are, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, these are 20 millimeter spacers that I'm rocking all the way around. Like I said before, I rolled the fenders in the rear yesterday. I haven't rolled these fenders. I'm not sure if you can roll these, to be honest. without taking this out, and I really don't want to. So I'm curious to see, because it looks pretty close to being flush, but I'm gonna move on to the other side and knock that out, and then hopefully we can get this. Well, I gotta bleed them still too, which will take a minute, but I'm pretty stoked on this. Spoon brakes done, installed, brake system bled, everything is good. I didn't do the pressure or the gravity bleed because I just don't know if that's possible with the spoon calipers, since there's an inside and an outside. I have my fiance to come help me, so we just did the standard old pump it, twist it, lock it, release it, you know the drill. So did that. The brakes, according to her, feel awesome. Let's see, there's a few things I didn't show that I did in this video. One was bleed the clutch using the pressure method, not just gravity. I felt like it was grabbing a little early, so I wanted to try and pressure bleed it. Same type of principle as brake bleeding, just, you know, loosen it, pump it, tighten it, release it, and see if that kind of helped. And then also I changed the transmission fluid. That in itself is a super easy process, so I wasn't gonna tape that or video that, because again, that is literally, you loosen the drain plug, you take the drain, or you take the fill plug out, make sure it's not stuck on there, drain the oil from the drain plug, then you just put the drain plug back in and fill it up through the fill hole. It's super easy. There's a ton of videos on it. Didn't want to bore you guys with that. Then what I also did was roll the rear fenders, and I will say, coming from the E36, these were way easier to roll. I don't know why. I don't know if the metal's softer or what, but much easier to roll. And then I also installed the 20mm spacers all around to hopefully not only be able to clear the spoon calipers, which it can, but give it that flush look. So I'm really stoked to get this thing down on the ground. I don't know if it's gonna rub. It could be close. I haven't messed with the camber at all. I think that will be a necessity, because with 20mm spacers, I'm assuming it'll need a decent amount of camber. Maybe not in front, because the front run's only 215s or 225s, I forget. But in the rears with 245s, I don't know if it's gonna rub. I hope not. That's why I rolled the fenders, but we'll see. So next step now is to put the wheels and tires on and get this thing off jack stands. I'm so stoked to see how this stance is with the spacers. I can't wait for this. Oh man, well, she's down. I have to say, when you drop an S2000, it's not easy to get it down without like a low pro jack, which I don't have. But gosh, this thing looks so good now. I would say the stance is pretty on point. So these are 20 mils all around, and it is, I mean, that is about flush, I would say. I mean, I don't think it gets much more flush than that. Those are 245s in the rear and 215s up front. I don't know how much camber is being ran right now. I haven't got this aligned because I'm doing everything to it. But the spoon calipers, or the AP2 V1 wheels, clear the spoon calipers with, I would say, probably realistically Man, maybe. You know what? I thought it was 5 millimeters. I don't think it is. I think it's like, I think you have to have 20 millimeter spacers to clear that. Yeah, I really do. But man, I am so stoked with this. I gotta get this out in the sun tomorrow for you guys because I can't wait to see this thing in the light. So I'm not gonna end it here, but the next thing you will see is hopefully sunshine and us out there with this car. Oh, look at it. Jealous. I'll get back to you. I got more stuff for you. All right, boys. Today is the day. I got everything cleaned up in here. I'm going to take this out for a drive so we can really get a look. First off, I have to bed the brakes in. And then I really want to see how these tires and wheels sit with these spacers. Because it looks good. It looks flush. It looks really flush. It's like almost... No, I think it's like almost perfect, actually. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. But we gotta go on a drive and see how the suspension settles, and I need gas in it anyway. So let's go find a place to look at this after driving it around and bedding in the brakes. All right, last time we were here, you remember it was completely stock. Didn't have the suspension done or anything, so now we got suspension on it, we got the new wheels on it, we got spacers on it, we got the spoon brakes, which look great. God, that looks awesome. I think those spacers are the deal, man. Got the front lip done now. Dude, I'm so stoked with this. That drop is actually pretty perfect. I could go lower, but I really don't want to deal with rubbing. Let me know your thoughts on this. I mean, what do you think about how flush this is? I think that's pretty perfect, if I'm honest. I'm really happy with that. And I still have to adjust the camber in the front. You can see there definitely needs to be more camber. Well, I'm stoked with where it is. It's not rubbing anywhere. It feels great, the brakes feel great, but in typical project car lifestyle, whatever, the car's now having some issues. I noticed it driving, it really didn't feel peppy. It's low on gas. I put like 5 gallons of new gas when I got it, but I'm wondering if old gas now has started to creep through the system. So I'm gonna go get more new gas and try and fill it up with that and see if that helps, but I may need new plugs, possibly new coils. It's not throwing any misfire lights though. It's very, very weird. I'll update you guys on that next, but listen, if you're new to the channel, guys, smash that subscribe. I got a bunch of new stuff coming with the S2, with the E36, and maybe another project car. I might be going crazy. I might have another project car coming. Smash that subscribe, guys. I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.